You are listening to the Vibrant Life Podcast, episode 35.
The Vibrant Life.
Hey you, it's Friday, and that means another episode of the Vibrant Life Podcast. I'm Emily Romrell, and I'm so happy to be with you today. I'm doing well, and I hope you're having a great week. We hit a little rainy weather this week in Utah, and if you do happen to be feeling some rain in your life, hopefully these few minutes together help a little bit. They definitely help me, and I actually did a podcast on embracing the rain a while back, and there's a link to that in the show notes if you're interested. So check that out. Another thing that has really been a blessing in my life lately is being grateful. And we are not really in the Thanksgiving season quite yet. We're just creeping up on Halloween. But I recently decorated for fall. I love doing that. And I got this cute little sign where you can post little messages, little notes of things that you're thankful for. And I just didn't want to wait. So I've been doing that, and I've been focusing on different blessings for like probably a week and a half. And it's been fantastic. I've had some personal struggles lately that have been kind of tough, and this simple shift has really lifted my spirits. I mean, I try to be grateful all the time, but the physical reminder is powerful. And we all know that any time of the year is the right time to be thankful, right? If you want to see my gratitude posts, you can check them out on my Instagram or Twitter. But what would be even better would be to start creating your own list. You definitely won't regret that. So, also, gratitude is a daily practice in the Vibrant Life Goal Planner. And I actually did create a goal planner for myself just with my own personal development journey. And if you are looking for a little more organization and maybe a reminder to be thankful each day, you should definitely check that out. Again, the link is on the website or in the show notes. And it would be great to finish out the year or get a jump start on next year, because I know we are not quite there yet, but man, time is flying. Alrighty, so I took a couple more minutes in the intro today, but gratitude is really key, and I'm not sorry. But believe it or not, that's not the topic of the podcast today. I'm really psyched about this topic because it's something that's been a theme for me for a really long time, but has grown richer in meaning and in depth as I've grown older. So today we're going to be talking about bends in the road. So if you've been listening to the show for a while, then you can probably guess where I got this idea from a book. I get lots of ideas from books. I love them. And this is from Anne of Green Gables. I first read that, I think, in elementary school, probably like 4th or 5th grade. And I love those books so much. And I actually really love the miniseries, the TV films that they did in Canada, like in the 1980s. Those are so much fun. And they would always come on TV growing up when PBS was doing the fundraisers. And they'd always be like, this programming is made possible from viewers like you. And we'd always be really frustrated that the boring grown-ups would ask for money right at the interesting parts. So those are good memories, but amazing as the movies are, the books are better because you just get to know what the characters are thinking in books in a way that you just can't on film. I think so anyway. So anyway, there's a quote from Anne of Green Gables about a bend in the road that's been with me since grade school. And spoiler alert, this is where Anne decides to stay home with Marilla rather than going away to school. She remarks, "Oh, I've dozens of plans, Marilla. I've been thinking them out for a week. I shall give life here my best, and I believe it will give me its best. I believe it will give its best to me in return. When I left Queens, my future seemed to stretch out before me like a straight road. I thought I could see along it for many a milestone. Now there's a bend in it. I don't know what lies around the bend, but I'm going to believe that the best does. It has a fascination of its own, that bend, Marilla. I wonder how the road beyond it goes. What there is of green glory and soft checkered light and shadows, what new landscapes, what new beauties, what curves and hills and valleys further on. Some of the old school writers captured life in their words so well that they just continue on to ring true for ages. And Montgomery is one of those kind of writers, Ellen Montgomery. Roads are a big deal throughout all of the 8 books in the Anne of Green Gables series. But if you just look at classic literature in general, the theme of roads is prevalent. And the metaphor of life as a road that we all travel is just about as old as life itself, for a good reason, right? All of us on the planet are going to go through our own individual journeys, and collectively we go on a journey. And one thing above all others is guaranteed, and that is life doesn't turn out how you expect. There's definitely bends in the road. And I guess that keeps us from growing complacent, right? It keeps us growing no matter what. Curveballs keep the game interesting, and they also keep us grateful. See, being thankful is relevant to the concept today. But I know that Anne of Green Gables is a fictional character, but even so, she's a great example of how we can deal with our own personal bends in the roads of life. And she also demonstrates common ways that we can maybe end in a ditch from time to time. So one thing that I really like about Anne is she's an unrelenting optimist. Her imagination sees her through some pretty bleak times. She starts out, she is through the whole book, but she's an orphan, and she was passed around between some pretty horrible caregivers before she actually ended up at Green Gables. And that is the house and the farm where she lives. And, it's in Canada. It's a simple farming community. But Anne just has this great imagination, and she revels in naming things. So the pond becomes the Lake of Shining Waters, and in a small stretch of road that she thinks is beautiful driving past is the White Way of Delight. And Anne has a talent for seeing the inner goodness of people. She befriends a lot of characters who at first glance could be classified as mean-spirited. They're kind of cranks. And many of her friends are of different ages throughout the books, both older and younger than herself. Anne has the knack of discovering kindred spirits in others. And she also has a great hunger to learn new things, and that allows her to make a way for herself in the world. But Anne has her faults too. She has a temper that flares up as hot as her red hair, and she often neglects tasks and finds herself in multiple messes due to a lack of concentration and forgetfulness, which is the result of her wild imagination. And so I think it's great. I consider myself fairly young. I'm 35, and I'm definitely feeling some more aches and pains than I used to when I was younger, but I still have a lot of road left to travel. However, I've lived through some pretty heart-wrenching disappointments. My life has had twists and turns I never expected, and some of those expectations are still dreams that I'm working toward making come true. And I've also had some really great opportunities that I didn't expect. One of our family's favorite movies is While You Were Sleeping. We watch it almost every year, and actually right now is just about the time to watch it again. But Sandra Bullock is amazing in it, and she plays a character that I really relate to. She's around 30 in the movie. She's single, working as a subway token taker, and she's completely alone at Christmas time in Chicago in the 90s. And every day this cute guy comes through her booth, and she has a big crush on him, but never has the courage to say anything. Till one day, the cute guy is mugged and falls on the tracks right as the train is about to pull in. So Lucy, aka Sandra Bullock, jumps on the track and saves his life. And then the man ends up in a coma for a week, and during that time, Lucy is adopted into his big, loud, crazy family. And I love it, and I have a point, I promise, with this. But one night, Lucy's confiding in the family friend Saul. He's this sweet, kind of grandfatherly character. And I'm paraphrasing this. I think I'm kind of combining a couple of scenes, actually. But she says, I've always imagined that I'd have the normal things that everyone wants. I'd grow up and get married and have a family. But, I have an apartment and a cat and sole control over the TV remote. And then she goes on to explain to the friend that her mom died when she was little and her dad passed away from some kind of sickness, I think cancer. And then so now she's just alone in the world. And obviously this is a movie, it's a romantic comedy, and it's going to have a happy ending. But how many of us Lucys are out there in the world? Or if you're a man, maybe you're a Luca. But, we always, life is a wonderful adventure and you have the highs and lows through everything. But, I can relate to that. And in another part of the movie, she says something like, if someone just really knew you, if they could see into your heart, then of course they would drop the model that they're with and then you would just grow old together. And it's really sweet. And I think all of us have feelings like that. I know I do. We all feel like if others could really see us for who we are, then we would be accepted and belong. It's like the basic human need. But when that happens, we can all take a page out of Anne Shirley's book and we can use our talents to our advantage. And we can use our imaginations to deal with new and unpredictable circumstances. We can look more at the insides of people and discover kindred spirits along the way. And we can be curious about the bends in the road and say like Anne does, I don't know what lies around the bend, but I'm going to believe that the best does. It has a fascination of its own, that bend. I wonder how the road beyond it goes, what there is of green glory and soft, checkered light and shadows, what new landscapes, what new beauties, what curves and hills and valleys further on. It's kind of crazy that this quote comes from Anne in the book when she's kind of grown up and ready to head off to college, and then the plot twists and she chooses to stay home. And in my first year of college, I kind of felt similar things, and I wrote a poem called Around the Bend. That was 17 years ago. It blows my mind, honestly. Wow. But I've experienced a lot of life since then, and the twists and turns keep on coming. And I think even better things are coming. But it's hard. We all have the twists and turns, and we all have those bends that we have to work on and we have to deal with. But I thought I'd leave that poem with you guys today. I've posted it on my website, emilyromerell.com, before. I'll also put it in the show notes for the episode. Quick side note, guys, you can read all the podcasts if you'd rather read than listen. And I usually put some fun links of quotes and books and other things, if that floats your boat. But I hope you guys know how much it means to me that a few of you take time to listen to my thoughts every week. And here is my poem, Around the Bend. Traveling life's bumpy road, I found turns around the bend, unexpected ups and downs, acquaintances and friends. At times the path leads to a mountain, and I struggle with the climb. But when I look down from the top, I see a grand design. How all things in this world connect. Each person is part of a plan to teach and stretch and strengthen, to press forward hand in hand. We need each other to reach our goals. Who knows what's round the next bend? In helping others, we help ourselves to strive on and endure to the end. Have a beautiful week, my friends. Live the vibrant life.